Plane.
Imagine you are staring at the departure screen, passport in hand, a hot cup of coffee in hand. You shuffle forward through the gate, climb on board and slope into your seat when suddenly...
You, sir, are too smelly. Please exit the aircraft.
What would you do? Absurd, yes, but this weird airline rule, along with many others, do exist, so brace yourself. Number 10. Body odour. Oh yes, this is an actual airline rule. Many American airlines impose the right to kick a passenger off the plane if they have a strong smell to them. January 2019 saw a Jewish family from Detroit left mortified after being booted off the aircraft for having bad body odour. Number 9. Human remains. Listen, when we say human remains, it's not quite what you are picturing. You are allowed to bring your deceased loved ones on a plane as long as they are cremated and in a proper container. Bringing an urn on a flight is a little different. You can check in the cremated remains with some airlines, such as Delta Airlines, who will allow it, but you can also bring them on as a carry-on. There are even temporary urns you can buy that are plane safe. Number 8. No shoes. No shirt, no shoes, no shirt, no service is a popular mantra with many businesses all over the world. So what makes people think that airplanes are any different? The least you can do is properly dress yourself. Airlines reserve the right to kick anyone off who is not deemed appropriately clothed, even though sometimes they can take it to the extreme. Ask Emily O'Connor. Number 7. The flat tyre rule. Okay, so this rule actually has nothing to do with actual flat tyres. It's actually a little more common than it makes sense too. The flat tyre rule is a rule put in place to help passengers who have missed their flight. Ground crew are required by many airlines to help passengers find new flights at no extra cost if you are 4 hours late or less. Otherwise, your time has run out. Number 6. Flight attendants must not declare someone as dead. It doesn't happen very often, but there have been instances where people have passed away mid-flight. Even though a person may be clearly dead on a plane, a flight attendant cannot declare the person dead for legal reasons. However, the corpse is supposed to be moved either to an empty row or, in the past, to the lavatory. Of course, in an emergency, a doctor, nurse or healthcare professional will be called. But if a person is found dead, there really isn't much to do but hope that there is a free row somewhere. Number 5. Canned food. This rule is a little odd and its stigma on it has changed since it first came into effect. However, some airlines do not allow canned foods carry-on luggage. According to the TSA, you are technically allowed to bring canned foods, but there are many rules and regulations that must be followed, such as making sure the food you are bringing is actually allowed. Number 4. The UK's regulation of large electronics. In 2017, the UK changed the rules. Regulations of large electronics, laptops, phones, tablets, banning them from carry-on luggage when going to certain countries in the East. Any electronic devices that measured any larger than are restricted to countries including, there was one point though, an electronics ban in the US in 2017. Number 3. Males wear makeup. Since the first official commercial flight, flight attendants had to be impeccably dressed, with many weight, fashion and height restrictions being present since the very beginning. Fashion is changing and people have become much more open and accepting towards seeing a grown man wearing makeup. Male flight attendants though are not permitted to wear makeup, even though it's mandatory for women, something that is finally starting to disappear. What's your thoughts on men and makeup? Number 2. Prohibited items. So, you turn up at the airport ready to go with your bags packed, only to get to security and be told you have something in your carry-on that can't be brought on the plane. Of course, you automatically think you must go on, leaving the prohibited item behind. The thing is though, you don't. There are ways around leaving your stuff behind when travelling. Most airports have an on-site post office where you can bring the item or you can give it to your friend that's just dropped you off at the airport. Number 1. Being too big. Just like being kicked off a plane for having bad body odour, this is an extremely embarrassing situation to be in. There are rules stating that if you are 2 inches too big for your seat, even though many airlines have seatbelt extenders, you cannot board the plane. After his seat neighbour complained about his size, an American man was kicked off an American Airlines flight for being too big. Airlines recommend larger customers buy 2 seats, but this is hardly ideal or even fair. What do you think about these weird, strange airline rules? If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and subscribe for more videos.